Malinaw na po ba? Hello?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So, again, good morning. Uh, for the second topic for human system is the skeletal system. More on skeleton to, yung mga buto. So, this functions for the first one is to provide structural support for the rest of the body. Kaya structural support yan, kaya niyang balansehin yung weight nung katawan ng tao. Meron tayong mga heel bone dun sa parteng lower limb, tapos yung mga femur, yung tibia, and fibula. The next is to permit movement and locomotion. Meron dyan movement and locomotion because of the joints. And then, meron tayong mga tinatawag na levers. So, pag may lever, kagaya sa physics, nag-move yun. Third is to protect vital internal organs and structures. So, ito na pumapasok yung mga ribs. And then, cranial bones or facial bones. To provide maintenance of mineral homeostasis and acid-base balance, more on bone maintenance yan. Kasi sa bones, before ka makagawa niyan, merong mga primordial cells, kagaya din sa sex cells, no? So, meron dyan tinatawag na osteoclast, osteoblast, and osteocytes. So, ganun na bubuo yung mga bones. Pero hindi na natin yun, hindi na tayo mag-go deeper since sa psychology is dapat light lang. To serve as a reservoir of growth factors and cytokines. Remember dun sa mga bone marrow, connected siya sa blood production or sa blood vessel, no? Ito nga yun. So, to provide the environment for hematopoiesis within the marrow spaces. So, at birth, we have 270 bones, but by the process of ossification na tinatawag, merong bone fusion, nagkakaroon na lang ng 206 bones. Pero yung ossification na yon, it varies the number of bones in human skeletal system. Again, it is a process wherein bones grow and fuse to form stronger and more permanent once during adolescence and early adulthood. So mostly yan ay for adaptability and more on external factors na yan sa environment. For an example, yung environment nila ay may ganitong culture na kailangan maliit lang yung waistline, yung skull nila kailangan mahaba, or yung bandang leeg is kailangan slim and long. So, nag-iiba-iba yung bone formation by cultures or by environment. Tsaka na rin sa usual na ginagawa. And then, the next one, yun nga, ossification, process siya ng bone formation. And again, resulted siya ng differences in the actual number of bones in the body. So, the skeletal system have major division of bones, like the long bones, yung mga nakikita yan sa upper and lower extremities like the humerus and femur. And then we have the short bones, kagaya ng clavicle, mga tibia, fibula, mga ganong part. Then the flat bones, yun yung scapula or yung sa may bandang likod, yung madalas na minamassage, yung hinihilot sa may shoulders. And then we have the irregular bones. Ang mga yan ay kadalasan makikita sa may bandang kamay. So pag kamay, yan ay tinatawag na phalanges, metaphalanges, mga ganyan. Pagdating naman sa paa, usually talus or metacarpals or metatarsals, mga ganon ang tawag. So, these long bones, kagaya ng nasabi ko kanina, ay yung clavicle, no? Hindi siya dito sa short bone. Sa long bones ay clavicles, yung hanger. Pag nakikita niyo sa mga models, yung bandang malapit sa may leeg, yun yung tinatawag na clavicles, yung tinatawag na hanger. Then the humeri, the radiae, ulnae, metacarpals, femurs, tibiae, fibullae, metatarsals, and phalanges. So, nagpo-form itong long bones by a combination of endochondral and membranous bone formation. So, for the short bones, merong carpal and tarsal bones. Yung patella, yun yung nasa tuhod and sesamoid bones. So, for the flat bones, meron tayong skull, or yung cranial bones, the mandible or yung jawline, then the scapulae, then the sternum, yung makikita sa bandang gitna ng ribs, before, siya yung nagko-cover din dun sa heart. Pero tong sternum usually sa mga babies ay malambot pa. So usually pag sini-CPR yung babies, hindi gano'n na nilalagyan ng pressure kasi usually ito ay pwedeng masira at ayun, magka-cause ng danger dun sa baby. And of course, the ribs. It formed by membranous bone formation. So, for the irregular bones, we have the vertebrae or spinal column. Then, dun sa may bandang ilalim na doon ay meron tayong tinatawag na sacrum, coccyx, and hyoid bone. And then, the major bone groups are appendicular skeleton and the axial skeleton. So, itong appendicular, ito lang yung may well-studied, maraming description or characteristics compared dito sa axial skeleton. Usually, ang nangyayari lang, mayroong articulation lang between the two or interaction. Pero usually, mas marami ang appendicular skeleton. So, for the appendicular skeleton, so we have the upper and lower extremities. Kasama na yung chordal girdle and the pelvis or yung pelvic girdle sa may balakang. So, yung dalawa, shoulder girdle and the pelvis, it provides connection points between the appendicular and the axial skeleton para magkaroon ng mechanical load transfer. So, dun sa 206, we have 126 appendicular skeleton. So, an example of this are hands, feet, upper extremity, lower extremity, shoulder girdle, and the pelvic bones. Ito lang naman ay may definite number for the single upper extremity na nabanggit. So, doon na kasama yung 14 phalanges, may position lang yan, tinatawag na proximal, intermediate, at saka distal. So, merong 5 metacarpals, 8 carpal bones sa kamay yan, then the 2 forearm bones, the radius and ulna, the humerus, and the shoulder girdle, which is the scapula, yung malapad, then the clavicle, yung parang ang hanger. Sa single lower extremity, meron din 14 phalanges pero may sites lang na magkaiba sila. Dito naman may 5 metatarsals sa may paa, then 7 tarsal bones, isa lang yung difference. Then 2 leg bones, the fibula, tibia, the femur, and the hip bone or coxal bone, which is the ilium, ischium, and pubis. So, common sa appendicular skeleton ang tinatawag na articulation or yung tinatawag na muscle attachment sites. So, usually, yan ang ligaments, cartilage, at saka yung tendons. Itong ligaments, usually, makikita sa paa. Meron tayong different name of these ligaments. So, kunwari dito, no? May sa anatomy yan ng biology, merong posterior talofibular ligament, and then anterior talofibular ligament, anterior inferior tibiofibular ligament, posterior inferior tibial ligament, and iba na to. So, yung mga yan, importante yan kasi parang connection na nga yan doon sa paa. So, once na broken yan, may danger or pwedeng hindi na mabalik or matagal ang gamutan para maisaayos ulit sa dati. So, usually, nangyayari yan sa mga atleta. So, dito naman sa cartilage, ito usually ay sa mga joints, sa may bandang arms or sa tuhod. So, 'pag bata pa ang individual, yung cartilage plate na naandiyan ay madami pa. At saka itong, joint cavity containing synovial fluid. So once ang individual ay tumatanda, umuunti na rin 'yan. Kasi usually ginagamit 'yan ng, bones. 'Pag kumakaunti na 'yan, usually, magko-cause na 'yun ng it's either osteoporosis or arthritis. And then, the tendons, kagaya dito merong Achilles tendon, eto 'yun. So, connected siya sa bandang heel. So, 'yun lang naman ang articulation or yung mga muscle attachment sites. So, usually ang skeleton at saka ang mga muscles ay, interconnected siya or, meron silang, ano 'yun, partnership. So, for the actual skeleton, we have 80 bones. So, 126 kanina 'no, tsaka 80. So, total of 206. So, it is located at the central area of the body. So, meron tayong skull, ears, sa may bandang ears yun 'no, then the neck, back, the spinal column, at saka yung rib cage. So, eto ang, cranial bones na tinatawag sa biology. So, yaan ang nag-e-enclose sa brain to protect. And then we have the facial bones. Pinoprotect ng facial bones yung mga ibang organs like the eyes. So, this one, shoulder bones, eto yung itsura ng clavicle at superior view. At saka eto yung tinatawag na scapula, yung parang wings. So for the vertebrae or the spinal column, we have 24. So may tinatawag dyan na 7 cervical vertebrae, then the 12 thoracic vertebrae na merong 10 pair na true ribs. True ribs yan kasi kadikit niya dito, usually sa sternum. Compare dito sa 2 pairs of floating ribs. With the word itself, floating, hindi nakadikit, naka-float lang. And then the 5 lumbar vertebrae. Pag lumbar area, dito yon sa may bandang ilalim. Kapag ang tao ay may UTI or urinary tract infection, usually namasakit ang part na may lumbar. So, ganon nangyayari, masakit yung bandang likod sa may, ano yun, spinal column yung pinakaibaba nun, before the buttocks. We have the coccyx. The humans do not have tails. So, pinaniniwalaan na itong coccyx ay remnants lang siya of a tail structure that strongly links humans to lower primates. So, yung linkage na yan ay naaral through phylogenetic tree. So, na-discuss na siguro yun nung high school kayo, na yung phylogenetic tree, may iba-iba tayong species, species tapos, may kinuha dun na sa genes nila tinatawag na molecular marker or yung parang barcode sa layman's term. So yung, um, kunwari letter A lahat yung common na barcode nila nung iba-ibang species. Tapos 'pag inaral sa phylogenetic tree makikita dun kung gaano kalapit yung relationship nila. Eto kasing humans, kunwari for example yung monkey, meron silang 100% relationship. Sa ibang organisms, puwedeng more or less 90 or 70%. So for the arms, we have the humerus. Eto yung upper arm bone. And then we have the 2 lower arms, the radius and the ulna. So sa radius, medyo curvy at saka merong wide measurement, while the ulna, straight, parang straighten yung kanyang bone and then much narrower. So for the lower limb, ito yung femur. Sa hip bone, it has ito single upper leg or the thigh bone. So usually ang femur na yan, sinusupport niya yung upper extremities or yung itaas na bahagi ng katawan ng tao. And with this tibia and fibula, tibia yung widened part and then the fibula, narrower yung kanyang measurement. For the foot, we have the heel bone, kilala ito, yung sa may sole part. So, ang function usually ng heel bone ay for assistance in walking and of course, weight-bearing structure siya. So, sa bone, um, ito naka-indicate yung Achilles tendon, yung fibula, and then the tibia, yun nga, wide yung measurement. Then the ankle joint, ito yung parang may, para ang movement mo ay, ang movement na to, pwedeng iikot or i-move left or right, or upward or downward. Then we have the talus, the calcaneus yung dulong part sa may sakong. Then metatarsals, yun sa may paa, and eto pinaka-irregular na siya kasi hindi siya magkakadikit 'no. 'Pag kunwari nag-dissect kayo ng frog, tapos kukunin niyo yung skeletal system, hindi usually yan magkakadikit, magkakahiwalay yan kaya mahirap siyang idikit 'pag yun nga, 'pag hihiwa-hiwalayin mo kasi 'pag nagda-dissect aalisin mo of course yung muscles. Tapos 'pag nagtanggal ka ng muscles tapos nahiwalay yung ibang buto, hindi mo na kayang ibalik kung saan yung dating structure. So, sa skeletal system, we have the bone growth. So, ang types nito puwede siyang longitudinal or pahaba yung measurement and the radial growth. 'Pag radial growth, yun yung parang, circular measurement. So, this longitudinal and the radial growth during growth and development occurs during childhood and adolescence. And of course, the longitudinal growth occurs at cartilage, as I mentioned earlier, na ginagamit ng bones yung part ng cartilage para mag-grow yung, bones. So ito, sa may cartilage merong proliferation na tinatawag. 'Pag proliferation nagcha-change ng, from parang, um, parang early life ng cell, ng bone cell, and then magcha-change siya to a definite, depende yun sa naka-program sa kanyang DNA. So it proliferates in the epiphyseal and metaphyseal areas of long bones before subsequently undergoing mineralization to form primary new bone. So sa mineralization, gagamit ka dyan ng vitamin D na na-mention na naman dun sa integumentary system, pati na rin ang calcium and other nutrients. So for the modeling, it is a process of changing the bone's overall shape. So nakadepende yung modeling na yan, depende 'no, may factors tayo. First one, yung response sa physiologic influences. Ang 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 mga physiologic influences ay temperature changes temperature changes, yung kagaya ng too much hot or too much cold, and then ano pa bang influences meron? Masyadong heat, ayun nga, too much hot. Ano pang puwede niyong i-add dito sa physiologic influences? Hello, class. Hello. May nagtaas ba? Puwede naman magsalita na. Okey, sino 'yun? So, meron tayong hormones, kagaya ng, estrogen and of course, different vitamins like the intake of vitamin D3. Aside from estrogen, may tinatawag din tayong parathyroid hormone. So, internal, influences na siya. And of course, the presence of beneficial or harmful microorganisms. Kapag beneficial ang microorganism, of course, puro nutrients, puro good benefits ang ibibigay. Pag harmful ang microorganisms, of course, magkakause yun ng disease. And then we have the mechanical forces, pwedeng ma-deform or pwedeng magkaroon ng maayos na bone structure or bone modeling depende sa environment. So, diyan usually pumapasok na yung treatment sa mga damaged area. 'Pag naman, yung ibang mechanical forces na deform through na aksidente, gano'n. So, these factors resulted in the gradual adjustment of the skeleton to the forces that it encounters. So, the bones may widen or change the axis by removal or addition of bone to the appropriate surfaces by the independent action of osteoblasts. Yung osteoblast na tinatawag ay early uh, Ito yung early formation ng, bone cells and magse-secrete lang siya ng bone matrix, for these osteoclasts. So the other bone modeling, bones normally widen with aging, in response to the periosteal apposition of, nakadepende yun 'no, ang tinatawag na periosteal apposition, um periosteal apposition of new bone and endosteal resorption of old bone. So, during bone modeling, bone formation and resorption are not tightly coupled. So, meron lang itong, tinatawag yung parang ano yun, nagka-counterpart lang sila, hindi sila gano'n na, sabay. So, this bone modeling is less frequent than remodeling in adults. So, puwede din itong mabago because of this hypoparathyroidism. So, nabanggit naman dito sa physiologic influences yung hormone, kagaya ng yun nga, estrogen or parathyroid. Pero 'pag hypoparathyroidism, with the word hypo, mababa. So, puwede siyang mag-lead to renal osteodystrophy and then ang treatment na lang is through anabolic agents. So, for bone remodeling, ito yung process by which bone is renewed to maintain bone strength and mineral homeostasis. So, bone remodeling usually, ito renewed regeneration, gagamit ka ng stem cells. Pero usually nga, mabagal ang stem cells ng adult compared to embryonic or fetal stem cells. So, ito naman, involvement siya ng continuous removal of discrete packets of old bone, replacement of these packets with newly synthesized proteinaceous matrix. Pag newly synthesized, another layer of stem cells dyan, and subsequent mineralization of the matrix to form bone. And then resorbs old bone and forms new bone to prevent accumulation of bone micro damage. And usually this bone remodeling starts before birth and continues until death. Yung growth and development naman ng individual is nag-start yon from embryogenesis or embryo part na yun, embryo stage, until 25 years old. So, itong bone remodeling is renewal na lang. So, until death ang range nito. So, it is composed of a tightly coupled group of osteoclasts and osteoblasts. Ito yung mga types of bone cells that sequentially carry out the resorption of old bone and formation of new bone. And of course, it increases in perimenopausal, usually sa babae na yan, and early postmenopausal. Pag early postmenopausal, wala na yung menstrual cycle nun. And then slows with further aging, but continues at a faster rate than in premenopausal women. And of course, meron lang siyang benefits sa men because nag-increase siya mildly lang sa aging men. So here's my references. Do you have any question regarding this